Welcome to Disembodied Screams. Spoilers possibly may be proceed with caution. With all that said, let's get started with Deathstalker, the most recent one, the remake. And honestly, there's not much to say about it other than I had a real good time watching it, a fun time watching it. I think you'll have a fun time watching it if you can get into these kinds of movies. Steven Kostanski is the person behind the lens and the script. And if you've seen Psycho Goreman or Frankie Frico, which I have and enjoyed, then you will understand why this movie works and why it looks the way it does. It has his style and design all over it. So, right? Effects are going to be great, and they were. A lot of unique designs among the creatures and villains spread throughout the world where this story is set. Gore is also plentiful. A bunch of gore. There's a lot of gore in this movie. It's a big highlight. If you're a gore hound, you will enjoy this movie. Is that about it for my notes? Yeah, I think it's it for Deathstalker remake. All in all, I really enjoyed it. Solid cast, solid score. I love the theme song to Deathstalker. In fact, I went and found it on Apple Music and listened to it after the movie was over. Slash of Guns N' Roses plays on it. So that's kind of cool too. I think he was an executive producer of this, or he's a producer of this too as well. So he must be a fan of the original. So if you can vibe with this movie, then this one is for you. You'll have a blast watching it. All right, now on to the OG, the 1983 Deathstalker. This is one of those cult classics that shouldn't work, but does. Got a certain charm about it, a certain vibe that works, a certain thing that I really like about it. One of those movies that when you turn it on, you're just like, I'm already enjoying this. It's right off the bat, you're already enjoying it. But I do think the remake is better, better cast, better story, better effects, better gore, better pacing, better and unique villains. But I will say the villain in this one, in the 1983 Deathstalker, is a highlight. Bernard Erhard, Erhard, I think that's how you say that. Just plays a wickedly good bad guy, great outfits, awesome head tattoo that at one time in the movie switched sides. I was like, what? It's on the wrong side. Was it over here? Not over there. Or which side it was on. But anyways, minor flaw for this kind of movie, right? He was a perfect looking villain with a gruesome, bloody death being drawn and quartered at the end. By far the best actor in this cast, a cast that was really good enough, got the job done. They read their lines very, very well. And there are probably more scenes with topless women than sword fights, too. I don't want to sound like a Neanderthal when I say I enjoyed that, but I did. I mean, even like one of the heroines in here came in sword fighting. She had just like a shawl tied up or something around her neck and just breast wide open. She was sword fighting with this top on and breast wide open. Forgot her name, but when I saw her, Lana something's her name. When I saw her, like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing her boobs. I knew it right off the bat when I saw her because she's not shy. I've seen her in other movies too. She's like PJ Souls, and there's the other one, Lena Quigley, I think, from Slime Bowl Babes. Slime Ball Babes in the Slime Bowl Ballerama. What is that one? Whenever she shows up, she was in Return of the Living Dead, the naked girl, Lena Quigley. When she shows up in a movie, you're like, I'm going to see this girl naked. Same for this other one in this movie. So, anyways, didn't mean to let the boobs sidetrack me. I'm a guy for sure, right? I see boobs and I'm just like, I can't focus. All right. Anything else in this little quick review? I really like the score. It fit everything perfectly. All right. Now on to Deathstalker 2. The director, Jim Wynorski, the man who directed the awesome Chopping Mall, which I really enjoyed. Speaking of boobs, there's some boobs in that one, which I covered, was behind the lens on this one, and I expect it much better. Because of that, I wasn't expecting Shakespeare. I'm not going to be stupid like that. But I was hoping for something better than what I got. This was also high up on a mini list for this franchise, so you had that going for it, which I guess gave it a little more hope for me. It's not saying a lot for this franchise. When you look at the ratings for 3 and 4, it's a very low bar. But even with that praise, I was still not very impressed with it at all. By far the worst story of the three, the worst villain. Really did not like the villain in this one. He was awful compared to the villain in the '83 Deathstalker, or even the unique villains or villain in the remake. Barely a sword and sorcery movie half the time. Sword fights are much better in the other two movies that I watched. Haven't seen 3 and 4. More on that in a moment. But they were much, much better sword fights in the other two movies. Sometimes it felt like a modern movie set inside a fantasy world. It just wasn't a good film. I was not enjoying it. I even noticed that they recycled shots from time to time in here from the last Deathstalker movie. So kind of showed you the budget I guess they were working with. The lead sidekick, terrible actor. She grated on my nerves many, many times. But there were two highlights. I liked the zombie scene in the graveyard, and I liked the score. So it had that going for it. And let me see my notes. And I thought after watching all three and the trailers for parts 3 and 4, oof. I watched the trailers for 3 and 4. I'm like, oh boy, if I watch those, I'm going to be in some serious pain. They look terrible. I thought I'd go ahead now and rank the Deathstalkers, the people who played Deathstalkers in these movies, in order of least to best. If you want to hop over to the short section, you can see my ranking of the posters from least to best. All right. Just watching the trailer for the third movie easily put John Allen Nelson at the bottom of this list for Deathstalker 3. Will I change my mind if I ever watch that movie? Probably not. Even in the trailer, he didn't look right. Hate to do this, but John Terlesky from Deathstalker 2, he had his moments, but never truly felt right as this lead character. I know he's a favorite among the list I saw, but I didn't love his performance at all. Daniel Bernhardt, the new Deathstalker in the 2025 movie, he was solid. Enjoyed his performance a lot. He was just at the edge of really, really encapsulating what I would envision a Deathstalker to be. He was really, really good though. Really, really solid. But my number one is Rick Hill from the 1983 Deathstalker and the fourth Deathstalker movie, which does look terrible. When he walked on screen in the 1983 Deathstalker, without saying a word, he just felt right. He had the look, the size, the build, the way he carried himself, his mannerisms, the hair, everything. He just looked like what I would expect a Deathstalker warrior to look like. So he's my number one, and that's my ranking of the leads in these movies. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what your thoughts are about any of the Deathstalker movies. Personally, I think Deathstalker 2025 and 1983 are about a tie for me in watchability. I like things in both of them about equally. I do think the pace, like I said before, was better in the 2025 version. There's kind of a bit of a slog in the middle for the 83 Deathstalker. But that 83 Deathstalker, when it ends, that is an amazing end. I really like the end of that movie a lot. And let's see, I would probably revisit them in the future. I see in my notes. I didn't watch parts 3 or 4. They're really hard to find. But I did look at the trailer for them. Whew, they do look rough. Part 3 alone, letterbox rating is 1.9 out of 5. A 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb. That's a big time yikes. But if this episode does well and gets to 20 likes, I will quest for them and find them and cover Deathstalkers 3 and 4. You show me some love, I will show you massive amounts of pain, because 3 looks like it's massive amounts of pain. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. Be good.